Hello YouTube, Mark Preisler here again. MMR Trains and More. Say today we're going to take a little tour of Waupaca, Wisconsin, at least the way I've modeled it on my railroad. And we're going to look a little bit at operations today. So our train departs Neenah Yard, headed for Waupaca, headed west out of Neenah. Today we've got a average sized train, about 15 cars long, and most will be set out at Waupaca. The train is backing across Oak Street in Waupaca. We're headed down towards the Fisher Fallgetter Mill, along with Central Wisconsin Seed Company for a few setouts and pickups. We're starting at the west end of Waupaca. Sinclair Oil is a big Soo Line customer. They receive tank cars and box cars. Another customer right next door, Fullerton Lumber Company. Interesting operation here. Of course, they get lumber in for cutting and milling, and of course they ship out lumber. We also have a business in West Neenah, Reliable Chair Company, that uses some of their lumber. So often we'll have cars from Fullerton destined to Neenah and then on to West Neenah to the chair company. And a little bit more of their operation. Office, retail sales, and then their woodwright shop, if you will. Moving east, we run into the Variety Produce Company. Lots of iced reefers and an occasional boxcar spotted here. Again, heading east, we see the grade that comes down that drops into the industrial area of Waupaca. And we have the Old Tannery Seed Company. In the background, you can see the depot for Waupaca and the familiar water tank. Chain of Lakes Produce. This kind of takes the place of the old Cohen Egg Warehouse that was situated in Waupaca during the 1930s and into the 50s. So far everything we've looked at today is occupied by the great big Waupaca foundry. Still a Canadian National customer. Another freelance building. A little bit of fun here. We have Thompson's Laker Tap, named after old friend Jerry Thompson, who passed away several years ago. And beyond that, we have the Waupaca Home Supply Company. Nice little operation, basically hardware and farming equipment. Sort of a custom hardware store, if you will. But they also sell aggregate, rock, coal, and there's a fun little operation here with the traditional coal trestle. See the water tower in the background, and we're on Oak Street right now. The old overpass, similar to what they had up until about 8 years ago when the Canadian National redid the rail through Waupaca. Brand new bridge. Coming off of Oak Street stands the Soo Line Freight House. And of course they receive all kinds of stuff here. Less than carload. Kind of a team track affair. Anything and everything. The tracks, you see Squire Dinghy Pickle and the outline, the roof, if you will, of our stock chute at Waupaca. The only two industries that are on the other side of the main line. Belch Street again. And we're on the Johnson Produce property right now. You can kind of figure the theme here. Lots of farming, lots of produce. Very typical small town Wisconsin. Standard Oil was right next to Johnson Produce. In the distance, next to Oak Street, we have a Shell oil dealership, bulk station. And of course, a couple of potato warehouses. Could be very busy at certain times of the year. This is a company called Feathers Potato Company. In the foreground is the Central Wisconsin Seed Company. And behind that is our freelanced version of the Fisher Fallgetter Milling Company at the end of Waupaca, on the east end of Waupaca. Of course, of note, these buildings that make up Waupaca, there are signature buildings like the depot and the stock chute, while other ones are close, like Feathers Potato Warehouses. And then, of course, we have a lot of freelanced structures from a previous layout of mine. Well, I've gone back and researched and followed in the footsteps of my friend David Leiter and do a almost perfect example of Waupaca on a certain date. But I'm a little bit too much of a freelancer, I imagine. And I had buildings left over that I sort of cut my teeth on. You'll probably notice a lot of them are based on the old Art Curran model railroader kits. Kit bashes, actually. And I just didn't have the heart to get rid of them. So by using some of the names of the industries that were in Waupaca during the 1950s, we kind of fudged them in. And I'm quite happy with them, just the way they are. I thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you down the rails.